Hello everyone, Namaste. Today I'm going to talk about steps in conducting scientific research in psychology. So as you know, psychology has evolved into a scientific subject. Psychology studies the human mental processes and behavior. So in order to be scientific, it has to follow certain rules and norms. And psychologists, their aim is to give us a better quality of life. So they conduct a lot of research and it is conducted in a scientifically acceptable manner. Psychologists always challenge blind beliefs that exist in society. For example, they used to believe that Earth is in the center of the solar system and the sun and the planets are revolving around the Earth. And another blind belief was that people with mental disabilities were possessed by evil spirits. So, psychologists want to challenge these behavior, false beliefs that are existent in society. To do that, they have to conduct scientific research. Now, what defines science? Science is not defined by what it studies, but it is defined by how it studies phenomena. So, the scientific method investigates events or behaviors in a very objective, systematic, and testable way. So, objectivity happens in our research only when the research findings of my research is independent of my personal opinion. And two researchers using same methods should be able to arrive at the similar conclusions. Only then it is considered objective. And my research, only if I follow systematic approach, then it will be accepted in the scientific community. What is that? Systematic approach, being orderly through well-defined steps so that findings are logical, reliable, and meaningful. Now, the first step, like I said, is conceptualizing the problem, where we define the research problem or the problem statement and identify variables. Then we collect data using different methods. We draw conclusions by analyzing our data and interpreting our results. Depending on the results, we have to modify our conclusions based on findings. Then we'll have to revise the theory. So they say that scientific research is always cyclical. Now, conclusions always lead to new questions and refinement of theory, creating a continuous process of discovery. So, our first step in scientific research is conceptualizing a problem. So, when I select a broad topic, then I have to narrow it down to a very clear and specific research question. How do I do that? I will have to use previous research and I have to conduct a lot of observations and record personal experiences of my subjects. So here I identify the topic first, then I narrow down my focus. I have to define specific problem statement or research question. Then I have to form a hypothesis. I have to create a testable answer to my hypothesis. For example, my hypothesis can be greater exposure to violence on TV leads to higher levels of aggression in children. So here my research is about the relationship between watching too much violence on TV leading to high level of aggression in children. There are different levels of psychological research. My research question or problem statement can be about me trying to understand myself or understanding others, or it could be that I want to understand the influence that a particular group has on my behavior. It could be to understand group behavior as such, the behavior of a whole group. It could be trying to understand the behavior of an organization, wherein I observe what motivates employees, organizational success, the success of an organization as a whole, and so on. So my research problem can span from individual experiences to studying a whole organization as such, which involves complex factors. And each of these will require different approaches. The second step is to collect data. So I have to develop a research design. My research design will be a blueprint which will guide me in data collection decisions. So what are the steps involved here? First, I have to choose my participants. If I have to quote the same example of studying the relationship between watching too much violence on TV and aggression in children, then my participants will be children, school children, and a particular age group. Then I have to select my method, whether I'll use observation method, experiment method, survey, or so on. Then I will pick my tools. Either I will have to interview parents and teachers, or I have to observe these children at school. Then I need to plan my procedure. Whom will I administer my questionnaire on? Either individual children or the whole group as such. Then the third step is drawing conclusions from my data. So I will use statistical procedures to examine my collected data. Then to make it easy to interpret, I will make it visual by using pie charts, bar diagrams, and so on. I have to apply appropriate statistical techniques to reach my result, and I have to determine if my result will support my hypothesis or not. The last step is revision, where I will revise research conclusions. I will compare my findings with my original hypothesis, and if the hypothesis is correct and if my data supports it, fine. Else, I have to revise my hypothesis or propose alternative theory if it is not supported. For example, if the data collected shows that children are not influenced by watching too much violence on TV, they are not showing any aggressive behavior, then I have to change my hypothesis or I have to use an alternative theory. Then, in that case, I have to come up with a new hypothesis. I have to again test this new hypothesis using new data by collecting data again. Therefore, scientific research is iterative, conclusions can be reevaluated, and whatever research I conduct today, it will be verified by researchers who will work on the same topic tomorrow, ensuring scientific knowledge evolves continuously. So, scientific knowledge in psychology follows a rigorous systematic approach which transforms observations into reliable knowledge. So, that's how we start our research, right? By observation. That is the first goal, to satisfy our first goal of description. Then our research has to be free of personal bias. We have to follow systematic procedure and we have to be open to continuous refinement. In future, when any other psychologist refers to my research and if he feels that it has to be refined, I have to be open to it. So through all these steps, psychologists will have a better understanding of human behavior and mental processes, thereby working towards improving the quality of life in people. So this topic will help you to gain better understanding of future topics, which is types of research, different types of methods or tools that we are going to discuss in detail in classes. As of now, this is about steps in conducting scientific research in psychology. Thank you so much.